Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for watching the Cypress Sports Show, brought to you by Coach's Corner, your go-to spot before and after the game. I'm Jeff Russell here with Mark Slevcove. Today, we're going to check in with Coach Crooks on our next opponent, Milliken. We're going to talk to some more athletes and staff members in our segment, How Well Do You Know? Coach Slevcove, exciting game on Friday night. Just about anything that could happen did happen. They scored early and scored quick, took the lead. We obviously came back pretty quick and scored again, and then extended that a little bit. What do you make of how our offense is playing right now?
Well, offense is looking good. Aiden Houston is really dynamic player. He's throwing the ball 15 completions. He had another 100-something yards rushing, 3 touchdowns running the ball. So he's an explosive, dynamic player. And he's still getting the ball out to Monteleone and Morel, making plays. Blake Cusimano almost had an amazing catch. Well, he did have an amazing catch, then gets the ball stripped. So we're playing well. We got physical last Friday night. That was a tough game in the second half. So I'm looking forward to this week. Milliken and Cypress, two close schools going at it against each other, and I think a couple more dynamic offenses could be a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, for sure. This week's going to be a lot of excitement. Last week, towards the end of the game, a questionable call, right? We had a pass play. It really appeared to most people that it was an incomplete pass, kind of falling down, the ball kind of bounces up, really kind of a weird thing. Their player gets it, runs it back deep into our territory right towards the end of the game. We had 28-20 lead at the time. What do you make of the play? I mean, what's such a weird deal?
It was weird. I think if you're from Highland, it was a great call. And if you're from Cypress, terrible call. Coach Feldman almost got the side official to bring the call back. At least the officials discussed it and made a call that they saw that was right on their end. So you got to hand it to the officials for that. But that was definitely a turning point in the game. And I just picture Aiden Houston coming down the side and running by everyone and catching that guy and taking him down at the 10-yard line. Almost a game-saving play. They end up scoring in another play or two, but that effort was phenomenal.
Yeah, it really was. What it did was allow time to come off the clock, which was a big deal towards the end of the game. So him making that tackle definitely made a difference. And then we did have a little, right towards the end, we had a penalty there. And I think people need to realize, us on the sideline, maybe in the stands, we can be penalized just like a team can. And we had a sideline penalty, which allowed their team to get a little closer and then punch it in. Kind of an unfortunate deal, but without a kicking game, that was kind of a big thing, right? They really don't have a kicker. Chance to go for 2-3 times. They don't make it. Kind of different.
Right. We saw they didn't have a kicking game from the very first touchdown they scored. They went for 2, and that kind of, we didn't know. Coaches probably knew they didn't have a kicking game. But they go for 2, they get it, and then the next 3 touchdowns, we stop them. They don't get those 2 points. And then that last stop, 28-26, Matthew Baldonado, our sophomore defensive back, makes a goal line stand to preserve our 2-point lead. Impressive play.
Super exciting right there at the end. An unbelievable end to the game. A lot of great plays throughout the entire game. As we look back to that, and there's not one thing that you could pinpoint as being the total difference maker, but what a great team victory it was for us. It's going to be a lot of fun on Friday night as well when we get out there against Milliken. But that's not the only thing going on, Coach. What else do we have for a sports update this week?
Well, we are winding down in the fall sports, right? Football, second round of the playoffs. Not easy to win in the playoffs, so congratulations to the football team taking on Milliken this week. Our girls tennis team lost a hard-fought first-round CIF match in Division II to Santiago Corona 10-8 last week. So that ends the season for the team, but we still have a few individuals going on to CIF individuals coming up Thanksgiving break. The boys cross-country team is preparing to run in the CIF prelims this Friday at Mount Sac. We wish them the best in their race. We hope for several PRs coming up on Friday. Kristen Legaspi and Catherine Gerbing last week on Thursday played in the CIF individual finals out at Western Hills. Kristen Legaspi finished 17th to qualify and move on to today, Thursday's CIF SCGA Southern California Championship at Brookside Golf Course in Pasadena. Unfortunately, Catherine didn't make it as she had a tough day for her. She hasn't had many of them, and it was a bad day to have one where she doesn't move on. For Kristen, this is the final step before state finals. If she can finish in the top 9 of this tournament, she'll move on to next week to play at San Gabriel Country Club.
Yeah, super exciting for her. We wish her the best of luck. Hopefully she can get that top 9 finish and move on. Of course, tomorrow, the big game. Again, the game is close at Milliken High School. It's really only a 10 to 15 minute drive at most from Cypress High School. You got to be there. We need the students and supporters to show up, help push the team to victory. We spoke last week to some of you a little bit about the top quarterbacks in Division 4. We're going to face one of them this Friday from Milliken.
That's right.
Miles Jackson, very, very solid player.
Yeah, very solid, and certainly Stanford sees a lot in him. He was just offered a scholarship to Stanford, and he's just a junior, so he's there. We talked about the kid from Newberry Park, a freshman. He was offered this week as well. So these guys are getting noticed, and there's some big-time names in our division.
Yeah, Coach, we're also getting ready to start the winter season. Basketball, soccer, girls water polo, boys and girls wrestling will be beginning their games and matches starting next week. So it's going to be busy. We'll have that winter preview for you in our next show next Thursday. But before we get to all that stuff, before we get to Coach Crooks and his thoughts on our opponent this week, let's check in with some athletes and staff in our Subs and Grubs segment. How well do you know the difference between cheer and song? Here's what they had to say. We're here with senior football player Tice Lindner, senior football player Trevor Monteleone, ASP senior class president David Shun, Coach Lumberg, our wrestling coach, teacher Carrie Fenton, quarterback A1 Sauce Aiden Houston, Miss Monera. By popular demand, we want to know if you know the difference between cheer and song.
There's a difference?
Which one wears blue and which one wears white at football games?
Song wears white, cheer wears blue.
See, easy.
Blue is cheer and white is song.
It's easy, you know them all.
Blue is cheer and then the white is song.
Cheer wears blue and song wears white.
Easy.
The song is white, of course, cheer blue.
Easy.
When they're performing together, it blends the colors together, so it doesn't matter.
Cheer wears blue and song wears white. I know that.
Which team dances ballet, jazz, and hip hop?
No, song. Song.
Song.
That would be song.
2 for 2.
Has to be cheer, right?
Song.
The song is singing. Song, sing. Yes. Final answer.
Song.
Easy. And who would be more likely to do an arabesque?
A what? Cheer? Say it again.
An arabesque.
Arabesque.
Cheer.
That would be cheer.
Cheer.
I think song as well. Yeah, that's ballet, right?
Song.
That's a ballet move, so cheer.
What is a basket toss and who uses it?
Basketball.
Basketball? Okay.
Oh, what? A basket toss?
Yeah.
The flyer and the spotters all catch. I don't know.
You are pro.
I think so.
I think it's the one. A basket toss is when the girls like catch the player like this.
So who
I'm
would do
assuming song.
that? Okay.
That would be cheer, and they toss a girl up in the air.
And then what do they have to do when she comes down?
They have to catch her very nicely.
Cheer uses it because they throw people in the air and they catch them with their arms crossed. I think.
Is he right?
Not like this. Not like this. The basketball players that are part of the cheer team, because it's all inclusive now.
Cheer uses it, and it's when they have in their cheer stunt group, they throw somebody up in the air and they go, yeah! And then they catch them.
Oh, what is a lame duck? And does cheer or song use it?
Cheer. A lame duck.
A lame duck. I'm from Minnesota and we go duck hunting, but I don't know what a lame duck is.
I'm just gonna say cheer. I'm not even gonna tell you what it is. I don't know.
I'm gonna guess it's some dance move in song.
Very good.
A lame duck? Man. I'm gonna say cheer uses that one.
Okay.
I think a lame duck is like, they go up in the air and they just like hurdle in a little ball.
Okay.
Show us. Really good.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
That is an inappropriate term that we should never use again.
A lame duck?
Yeah.
I think I would say song. I think it's probably like a dance thing. I don't know.
really?
Oh, the lame duck is a ballet term, and song uses it.
And which football player from our team would make the best cheerleader?
Matt Morrell. Schneider. Nate Schneider would by far be the best cheerleader.
Honestly, I might have to go with Memphis, Stover.
Ooh.
I would say Rocco.
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. Let's see. I think Coach Feldman all the way. Let's go, Coach!
It's a good question, actually. Probably go with Nathan Snyder. Yeah. He can get it done for
All
us.
agreement there. Out of agreement.
The guy who kicks it to the H because he can kick high.
Be a good person to do.
All right, and then whose parents are crazier, the song mom or the cheer mom?
Cheer moms, all the way.
Both. I'm gonna say song.
I think I'd go with cheer. I think cheer moms.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a little. Song, because they have more of the voices to complain about things.
On the grounds that might incriminate me, I refuse to answer that.
Wow, that's a hard question. I'm gonna say I refuse to answer. They're all so awesome and supportive.
All right, well, that was good stuff. I tell you what. You guys know the difference between cheer and song?
I mean, don't they wear different? Like Cheers usually wears navy blue, Song wears white. I'm kind of, my daughter's first time cheering this year, so I'm kind of, they're the cheerleaders, but I'm just a football coach. I really don't know much of both, but I do support we appreciate their support that they've done for us all year. So, and they've done a great job.
Awesome, Coach.
Of course I know the difference. I just pretend I don't.
There you go. There you go. Well, anyways, thanks again to Subs and Grubs for sponsoring How Well Do You Know? Next week, we're going to catch up with some more athletes and staff and find out how well they know sports and Thanksgiving kind of together. So that should be a fun one as well. Well, today, hey, we're happy to welcome back Coach Crooks to the program. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me again.
Of course. Well, Coach, last week we talked to Rashawn Haylock from KTLA, and he talked about the solid group of quarterbacks within Division IV, including, of course, our own quarterback.
Yes.
But to this week, we're going to face Miles Jackson from Milliken. Over 3,600 yards passing this season, 50 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. Definitely one of the leaders on their team. He's also one of the leaders in rushing with over 400 yards. Only a junior as well, which is kind of crazy. What makes this kid a special player and obviously a big concern for us?
he's a playmaker, and he's done a great job at this season. What he's done, obviously, the stats that we've talked about and everything else. But I think the system that he's in kind of fits what kind of caliber quarterback that he is, and he's having a great job. Great years so far. But again, every week is a challenge for us, and we always know we're going to face the best. So this week we're facing another good quarterback, and so we're preparing our scheme and getting it ready for this week to play Milliken.
Yeah, Miles is a 6'2" quarterback, 4-star. I think I just saw he got offered by Stanford, so must be a great student as well. Pretty impressive young man. He can stretch our defense down the field, right? If he's pressured, he can take off and run. 234 yards passing, 4 TDs last week.
Yeah.
How does that versatility make preparing for him and their high-powered offense difficult?
It's always difficult, when you have a running quarterback in the scheme of things from a defensive standpoint. It's just another guy you have to defend. So anytime you have a running quarterback, it makes it hard on the defense. Just like our quarterback Aiden, right? It makes it hard on their defense as well because you're trying to contain him in the pocket and then he goes. So same thing with Miles. He does a great job. He's a 4-star athlete. I don't really know much about stars and all that stuff. I know you can pay for them. So it's we're excited for this opportunity that we're playing this in the second round of CIF. It's just another road stop for us, and we're ready for it.
Coach, they also have 2 main receivers, Ryan Pelham and Jordan Anderson, both as well 4 stars. Threw a couple dollars in there for that, I'm sure. They can really play. What schemes do they run that our defense is going to need to identify quickly? I'm sure they try to spread it, but what do we need to identify on their offense fast to try to keep them in check?
Well, we just got to see how they're lined up, make sure we make our checks based on their formations, and then obviously just rally to the football when the ball's thrown. They're probably going to get the ball out in space and give it to their guys because they're fast, so we just got to be able to take good angles and we work on in practice and make sure that we're doing the right pursuit and just swarming to the ball and all tackling all 11.
You say these guys are fast. Have we faced a combination like this in terms of speed and skill with the wide receivers and the quarterback that they have?
Well, I've seen, San Juan Hills, Capital Valley rings a bell. Even last week with Highland. Highland was a tough physical team with very athletic receivers and running backs. So, it doesn't get any easier each round. So, but they have a good scheme that they do over there. They're having a great season as well. I believe they came in second place in the Moore League behind Pauley. They've blown out everybody else besides that, going in. So they're off to a great start. Good season for them. We're doing a great season as well too. We're going to use all the momentum that we have going forward and just do what we do.
Yeah, they had a couple forfeited games with an ineligible player. Maybe their record a little bit better. They have the 2 receivers. They also have 2 other ones in Miranda and Martinez who can make plays if they're given the chance. And with 4 guys, receivers that can make a play, does that put pressure more on our defensive backs or our linebackers to try to make those stops?
Well, it puts pressure on our defensive backs for that as well. But also, too, we got to get pressure on the quarterback. We can't just let him sit back and have 4 rushes, 4 guys going at him every. We got to bring pressure, and it might be 5, it might be 6 at a time. But then we got to be able to cover for a long period of time and be able to contain our area, contain the box so the quarterback doesn't get out and run, and just do that. We're gonna do what we've been doing all season. There's a reason why we're 11-0. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and there's just another roadblock ahead of us.
So with their offense spreading this out, we got to contain the running backs. We've got to contain the quarterback first, and then their running backs. They got Jaden Hunt, but they also got Nigel Osborne, who is just coming into his own this season after I think a slow start or just getting eligible. How do we deal with their run game?
Just got to read their keys on what they do. If it's fly motion, this guy's going to be doing this. If it's, if they're in 3-by-1 set, making sure if he releases out, we're able to make our calls and lock on and do things and stuff. So it's just all communication with us, especially from a defensive standpoint. So as long as we communicate with one another and make sure that we rally to the football, I think we'll be in good shape.
Go ahead. What's going to be the difference in this ball?
The difference is going to be who has the ball the longest, right? Time possession, I believe, because there's going to be points scored. We're going to score points on offense. They're going to score points on defense. So I think whoever has the ball last and whoever maintains the drive and who has the longest time possession, I think that's going to be, the outlook of the game of who makes less mistakes. If we have another 3 turnovers like last week, that's going to be hard. right? So we got to make sure we have ball security this week, and we got to score every time we get a chance.
Yeah, I thought last week was going to be a high-scoring game, and it's kind of started that way. And then that second half, man, it just the offense has stopped, the defense has really picked it up, and I imagine the same thing could happen this week. Both high-potent offenses, but maybe the defense steps up and slows things down.
Well, if that's the case, we're ready for it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Now they got guys that play both ways. I know a lot of times that's a factor. I know they want to play fast and physical on the defensive side as well. Can we wear them down over the course of those 4 quarters and maybe take advantage of that as the game goes on?
I believe we can. You know, I think it's just it's a matter of, like, again, holding, maintaining time of possession, right, and then getting first downs and moving the chains and scoring at will, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown every time. You know, as long as we get those points, defense does their job, stop them 3 and out. You know, make them punt, give our offense another chance, and then from there, it's, you know, they have their receivers going on the other side of defense, where, you know, we don't know what it will come down to. So I think it comes back. They have athletes everywhere, and we are aware of it. And I think as long as we're going to be physical and normally what we do, I think we'll be fine.
Oh, cool, Coach. All right, well, thanks for being on, giving us some insight, some stuff to think about as we get ready for this week's offensive showdown on Friday. You definitely won't want to miss this game. It should be a lot of fun. Again, Milliken, it's just down the street, a couple minutes away. You have to get there. Just leave Cypress High, make a right turn on Cerritos, take that down a few miles till you get to the school. It's that easy. You got to be there and support the team. Thanks again to our sponsors, Subs and Grubs and Coach's Corner, for being there every week, sponsoring us. Get over to Subs and Grubs for some lunch, Coach's Corner before and after the game to celebrate with the team. Thanks again for watching. We will catch you next week with a game recap, more updates, interviews, and of course the winter preview as we move into that winter season. See you at the game on Friday and back here next week. Thanks for watching.